This is 107 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133. My name is Lisa Guthrie, one of the retarded smelly males at 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133, who is so typical of the Bloods gang members. He's sort of a gingery, red-haired black male, not very, they're all black, but the retardation level and the mental illness level is pretty but through the floor. The damaged managers cover the liability. Oh, look what you did. Keep me out with the needle prick until it's all fixed. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, that happened to me 10 years ago. Also, and that's what the Bloods do. They like to, you might feel come right through these. He's about 5'8" and he has gingery red hair. And as I said, he's unattractive. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants them near. This is fairly typical on their gang initiation. Otherwise, we shoot him. Very much tied to the Bloods. They've been threatened. They've on my apartment, my hands, the water, and they've also put viruses. And I went to a lab plague earlier, and he was threatening. I won't even say the name of it. Also, as I know, or from African areas. It's not just AIDS. He's got AIDS, HIV. According to what I've injected. One did up through the boards, the unscrupulous managers would cover for. That's what they did 13 years at a location north. I reported a drug lab. So I'm just going to keep the camera up through the floors. I apologize that the camera was trying to make sure I threatened me with hurt. It doesn't mean he's intelligent. It means the moron has a connection with a dirt bag at a lab, or else he sneaks in there with the Bloods and his health to try to Nazis, and these are, and there are no been tamped. And what's always been World War II, same with the black Nazi. Very nice context, but they don't care, and they fell with satanic and cannibalistic, and their other favorite things to do is to end with getting me pregnant, getting a quote abortion. The Bloods will even go as far as impregnated. Here think that they're going to rule the world with about 300 people. They're retarded friends and relatives that are the product of very bad genetics in black, white, and they rule the 10 years you have not ruled your own fate. You've that are retarded, contriving the word retarded, because all the gang members I've seen are retarded from the paper. A lot of the times they can't even give something. It's obvious by the stench that accompanies them. The glamour that the music business has gang members. You've only heard slang and plots for a few minutes to realize they're retarded people. Flourish in a society of very bad themselves are the product of spawn. Especially now that they fell with Satan. And the plague he threatened these bums, these gang members, and others of the Bloods have also laughed over her apartments hot and bright apartments for 13 years, thereby furthering the public. These bums then would have little plots like, oh, or little advanced plot. A dirty guard, a dirty nurse, to the lines. It's a moron network telling lies to morons, and they tell people that they were met or CDC and had to pick me up. Me inside my apartment, and the management is fully in on it. They're playing over and over, your bill's this, your bill. Note that on charity, and they've never been up on charities 40s, 50s, 20s. Characteristics of the blood share is that they pretend they are police or government. They even will pretend that they own Social Security or medical insurance from the government. Food stamps, their rent coming in that you've already paid them. So one of them had a hacksaw tonight, thought he'd come up through the floorboards to this. And they thought that Laura Avenue 33 work on it. That's how confident they are. And yes, the manager cleaned up alcoholics. And once again, Spawn. And also, when they fell with the devil 13 years ago, they also had been dead 12 minutes. Do you know what happens to the brain when it's been dead 12 minutes? And here that they're rape me, and it's no longer about being pretty, because I've also been sprinkled glass in this location and various glass base, even if it's or slightly more rough, it sinks into the skin, achieves that pizza look that then the gang members will follow around on me. It's not just in the 50s, there was no acne point in my life. There's been not being full of acne and very well, or not full of scar that was significant until hurting me with the glass. And then I've also been sprinkled in social services that I've gone to. I went into this apartment a couple days and the door popped open. Else in. And what I did move in out of here is, but then there are a couple bums, including a fat male, 5'9" male, and mustache. He did have a slight mustache, very ugly once again. And another one nobody would has hepatitis rape, by the way. He likes to break into apartments and houses and get seen. These are all child molesters, by the way. That's another characteristic of the Bloods. Some of them I could hear masturbating into the water. The pipes are probably the access to them located in the janitor's room, spouting molestation. The red-haired ugly thing and the other thing, the thing, Satanists, both of them. But that is common in the Bloods. They're using threat and to call everything by a certain name. One of the whores just said. So the whore is calling things enfamil. And they called everything enfamil, including poison in the water. They threatened to do, quote, acid on closed circuit TV. There's a policeman involved. he's just hissed the word gun. They threatened me with. They're the blood very much into Satan worship. Of course, entails. So we first to the 10th, it's quite dangerous. They will absolutely try to pull a kidnap, a bus, lock in order to get whatever check, whatever you have, such as your wallet, perform some sort of identity switch. Complicated, and not just taking one check. Semi-professionals and help them. Oh yes, it's long. Her hands are done. Her face is done. She's ugly now. We've got a pretty girl. Or how about the fat 5'10" person who's 20 years younger? They've got a couple different hookers for that. They've been threatening me. One of the hookers now. Her name is Antonia, and she's from the Pike Place Market. Hooker there. She's a very $10, maybe $5. Her customers include the very grotesque old men that visit Pike food banks, by the way, as well as the young population. For zero countdown, they're merely the product of drugs and their druggies. A lot of the senior population involved in drugs, and many people, the population, see on their faces they are the product of drugs, alcoholism, or just alcohol. Not even an alcoholic. Produced, stamped, I can, if not stamped on their bodies and their. And many of these bums, by the way, positions of responsibility, such as working airplanes. Programs to help and enable. And there's no racial preference in this country. And if you're a drunk or a druggie, they'll bend over backward for you to hide any mental illness you may have. And if you are a sex offender and they can hide it and you haven't been convicted yet, in fact, the most worshipful about the dirty filter rape horrors is like her. She's in. And some of the broadcast partner, the Bloods and other gang members want a relationship, and they would love to get a hold of, like, let's say your pictures, your bills that you leave lying around the apartment, and then they can the professionals and semi-professionals that pretend that yes, it's her boyfriend, they were in love. Thinking to myself, how many relations they have an expensive smile at you. You won't know who raped you, and they're going to act like they're in, and they'll be covered up for. But and I've shown them to poison people that have complained about a meth lab. People will dump in the meth lab chemicals in your apartments, what or how or where, so that you will smell like a meth lab. You'll also be, and I'm sure many people have died the last 30 years because of such. One of the bums pull the spirit. They often then play a stupid game. It's a pattern, and the game. Then even everything's called Elizabeth, even car tires. Dirty, smelly whore. Fix, by the way, was cast into the. I like that, like actually, but I don't like. But I like how it made the cruise hands were bleached and modeled, didn't form on those hands out of restroom. So I guess there will be night after night of broadcast, especially until about the 10th of the month, and possibly after. And there are several more people in the storage room, by the way, some males. And that's been a common expression. The and even if they say, "Oh, well, we're such warriors," well, got chronic fatigue, allergies, activities, and in another apartment, up 32nd and Aurora, to be smelling, to smell a lemon spick and span or a cooked bleach smell constantly. Left-hand side of the road of Shoreline. So when the gang members call themselves soldiers or warriors, they're not. That's a bunch of BS. They're dirty that will try to overpower deaf people, handicapped people, young children. They will talk to you game of the gang. They're cowards. If you've ever felt this abhorrence for hyenas coming and biting animals, biting lions behind, like their hindquarters, trying to get sort of this indication of what the Bloods are like, except valiant and noble. That's an Asian female that's she's in the Bloods, and she likes a lot of, like I told you, the old whores, the whores, practicing whores. They love the sex offenders. The other way around, they even get turned on by some of the rapes. They just, the blood all are very much into blood drinking and cannibalism, and eating and also spirits. They're also them, so the dangerous thing. But it's more than Satanism. Now, their plane just blew me out. Who had dirty, Satan, stolen spirits, me, or appealing? Imagine and or some of the early years. They would use the soul chakras or anything else. Every one of the Bloods and anyone are no normal people that would defend government, some of them defending even rapists. Big bad ones were violent because you got mad at rapist. You're a violent woman. I've seen it before too. It rapes occur in people's apartments. There's bragging she got our leader. You might be picking her up. It depends on how. The bomb and a tangent chanting, everything will prosecute you. Large soul blowout. Large. You might say, well, why can't you defend yourself? Time there was a fall with Satan. I'm listening to bums. There's some frantic activity because I told, and I'm thinking of some of the threats. Or one of the bums was I was going to get a prescription for painkiller, which I don't to get a prescription for people for themselves, the dirty nurse, so you can get robbed by the bums here. There is a attached to the building, by the way. She has long range. She's sort of repulsive. And she loves you that. I wouldn't send her to my dog. I wouldn't have a dog. She's about 8. Just sort of repulsive. But I'm not going to worry about zombie morons. One of the morons is he's bragging, well, your own country won't speak to you. Blah, blah, blah. They're all another back blow. And multiplication. And they just blew up my chakras. Firecrackers. Excuse me, you're gonna hear. I'm gonna. That's one of the prostitutes named Lisa. I'm not Lisa. She just said her name is Maria, and she said sorry about rape. It's an ugly hook named Maria. She's got long dark hair. Well, it's medium wavy to straight. Wavy. She's not very attractive. She has pale skin, and she's probably 30s and 40, and she likes to wear very, very short skirts. Sorry about apologizing to the bum or expressing sorrow. Rape didn't go through, and the needle plot out of Craigslist. They're large head theft, and if you believe in that, but if you believe in the gang racket by retarded morons, reported full. What does Maria do off of Craigslist? She's to house sit. Prostitutes here that's involved with the Bloods. She's also in on rapes, identity theft, etc. She's in on check theft, and she's even personally threatened me with extortion. She'll be available to babysit you shortly. Notice around a time when there's a planned too much active blow out by dirty, filthy bum. Likes her sleep. Going to pop their world. Satan's spirit. There's a lot of my soul missing, and it's to bumps. Have, and they're playing 3, famous for making decrees. Shock them. One who would do ugly, scummy. The only set of people, the soul, spirit, chakra, or aura to scummy, filthy zombies. Zombie. To cut off my Bloods have a vaccination body parts, like you hear about in Santeria. The Bloods have a body part, rotten part. They think they have magic, and they think then one thing and. You will note that the absolutely have a button fetish like to, and note that when they kill a victim after times in a private location, just know that they played with their body parts and even cannibalism. It's induction process. It certainly is with the invisible. Soul theft and the body, or me fully out wander it and have, the body, the voice, me, bank account, etc. They've actually taken people out of their body. Greece. To also, one of them said blood. I think that might have been a spirit. They're playing Be Quiet. I'm not going to. They're bumpy. It's a whore playing. It does bouncing noise. Ian Field. Here's your future year, 2 years to. They've also changed it as a method of control. Back. Now I might go can freely curse these people. Start again, because obviously I'm not getting any sleep, by the way, so I might as well curse them freely. They're so yes, I will go and I will be back.